Okay, so there is a huge difference between studying accountancy and becoming an accountant. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing 7 things that I wish I knew before becoming an accountant. Just a warning, some of these things might actually change your mind about studying accountancy. But before further ado, let us get into number 1. Okay, so jumping into the first thing that I wish I knew is that it's a really repetitive job. And I know some of you will say, but Conrad, every job has a repetitive nature. That's my British accent. And yeah, I get that point of yours, but just hear me out. So literally an accountant's job is to set up monthly reports or do monthly tasks. Whether it be management reports, which is profit and losses and other type of reports, or even just like something of just settling in or reading in transactions every day. And just a word of warning for some of you guys who are studying this now, like if you can't sit at a desk at the moment for like 8 hours a day, then you should really think about reconsidering what you're going to study. Because literally, you get into the office at 8 o'clock, you sit at your desk, you work until 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and then you knock off. So it's a really, how can I say, sitting job where you do the same tasks over and over and over. And that plays to some people's personality type a lot more. And some people like being out in the field and being a salesperson and getting into touch with the more operational aspects of a business. That leads us well to the second thing that I wish I knew, is that you should already start thinking about what you're going to specialize in. The thing is, when you study accounting at the lower levels, it is more a general type of thing. You have economics, you have your managerial accounting subject, you have your, not even auditing sometimes, and then you've got your taxation. So it's a really basic, broad thing. And not all chartered accountants specialize in everything or do everything. Some of them specialize just in tax. Some of them specialize just in audit. And audit is basically just where you go and check if a business's books or the management's reports line up to what actually happened in the financial statement, and that is like presents a true representation of the financial statements at the time. And that's quite a nice thing about ACCA, is because in your final strategic professional certificate level, you are allowed to choose between the 4 subjects, which is obviously I chose managerial accounting and I chose also financial management. And that's the reason, again, it ties in nicely to the first point, is because I can't sit at a desk the whole time. I like more type of being in the field and also just like doing the operations aspect. So that's definitely something I'll move in later into my career. Now, I know some of you guys want to be CEOs already when you've done your ACCA. And that's one misconception that like everyone has, is that when you have your chartered accountancy, you think you're going to walk into a company and they're going to be like, this guy is God's gift from heaven to us and we need to make him our CEO right now. And literally that's not how it works. You start, that's point number 3, you start at the lower level. Being a CA doesn't mean you are automatically a CEO. So let me give you the reality of it. You are first going to go an article and do repetitive tasks for maybe 3 to 5 years, right? And then when you move up the ladder in whatever industry you are, it depends now obviously if you're more in a corporate or more in another smaller business. That means that it's going to probably take you 5, 10, maybe 15 years even to get more to the senior level, and it depends obviously about the hierarchy within the business as well. And I actually started a newsletter. I don't know if I should tell you guys, but I actually started a newsletter, and every week I thought of planning of sharing like some sort of thing that I've learned in these books that I read. So maybe if you'd be interested in that, I think it'll change your life actually. If I have to sell myself now, go and subscribe to my newsletter. The link's going to be in the description. Point number 4, which is actually really important, is network. So making friends is going to get you to the top. But Conrad, you always say you are an introvert. And yeah, that's true. This is one of the things that I struggle with the most. But it's something you hear everywhere. And it's even true in the accountancy sector or whatever you call it. And like literally, being an accountant is such a valuable skill because every business needs that mind that can think about numbers and they can think about profits, they can think about pricing. So every business literally needs an accountant. So if you're going to go network around in your community and meet people, obviously not just go up to them and say, okay, I'm Conrad, I'm a CA, I'm super good at numbers. Just maybe provide value. Like one of the things that I really believe in, philosophies by Gary Vee, is it's called the jab, 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 right hook. And that basically means is give as much value as you can for as long as you can, and then at the end you then obviously have your ask or whatever you need from them as well, money, whatever. Point number 5, competitiveness is good. And as an accountant, you think, okay, now there's so many different accountants around me, so why do I need to be competitive? And the sad truth is that is not true. So a bit of a story time. In my company that I work at, we were actually looking at hiring an actual CA. I'm obviously not a CA yet, but we were looking to hire a CA. And my boss told me this guy is essentially your competition. So he actually invited me to go and sit in on the interview. And after the interview, I listened to this guy's story. He was a bit older than me and obviously was more successful than me. And afterwards, my manager asked me, Conrad, okay, so what do you think about your competition? And like that struck a chord in me because I was like, shucks, I don't think about this guy as my competition, but literally he's competing for the same job that I want. And that means that I need to level up my skills. I need to deepen my knowledge. I need to provide more value in my company. I need to show up earlier and leave later. I need to be this exception. Because if you're not going to be the exception, guys, I mean, we are all about excellence on this channel. And if you're not going to be the exception in your company that you work at, then don't think that you're going to be promoted at the end. A good line that I want to leave you guys with this is, be sharp, be timely, and have a bias to action. That was in one of the books that I read recently, but hell, I can't even remember the name of it. It's just a cool line. Point number 6 that you guys should focus on, and that ties in nicely to being competitive, it is lifelong learning. Now, essentially in ACCA or any degree you're going to go study, they're going to tell you about lifelong learning. And it's such a good mindset to adopt in your professional career and even your personal life. And essentially what it means is that going beyond your studies, you should actually go and learn in other aspects of business. So that means is go read more books, okay? Go do more research about the different IAS standards. You know, be competitive in that nature and actually go and learn. Go read books about sales. Go read books about management. Go read books about, you know, different type of topics. And literally, I've read hundreds of business books and entrepreneurship books about whatever topic there is in business. And basically, if I have to sum it up for you, employers are looking for recent and relevant knowledge. So they're going to test you on if you're sharp, especially if you're a bit older. Sharpen yourself up, be better than that 20-year-old that's got fresh knowledge, be sharp, and just be the exception. So, point number 7 of what I wish I knew, right, is the experience gap. And that's what I'm going to be calling it, because literally everything you're learning now, you're going to apply in the business or in your career. And that's literally not the case. Like, there's so much theory that you learn, especially in your auditing and in your IFRS and your IAS, for those of you guys who know what I'm talking about, that you don't actually apply in business. It's actually quite a waste of time, I think, of learning it. But you need to, obviously, as an accountant, know every aspect of the financial accounting. You need to be an expert in it. But like literally, the difference between sitting behind a desk and working in the field, like being in the field, you have to like be able to engage with clients, and that is a whole new challenge, guys. Like literally, in my beginning of when I started, I was so nervous to be able to talk to clients because I felt like such an imposter. And some of you guys are still going to experience that and be like, oh, okay, Conrad told me about that. I remember that. And like literally, guys, it's a whole new challenge when it comes to being present in your career. Maybe you're actually interested in seeing what a day in my life looks like as an accounting clerk, accountant, trainee, and I actually made a video about this, which is like super good news, and I'm gonna link it up here for you guys, and I'm sure I'm gonna see you in the next video. So see you there. Cheers.